Have you ever wondered how rising oil prices can impact your daily life? Well, let's take a closer look at recent events unfolding in the Red Sea. Yemen's Houthi rebels have been causing quite a stir, disrupting the flow of oil and other goods. The rebels claim to target vessels related to Israel, but some companies report being unfairly affected. Major shippers like BP and Maersk have even halted shipments through the Red Sea, opting for longer routes around Africa. This diversion could lead to delays and inflated shipping costs. And what's the result of these disruptions? Goldman Sachs warns that oil prices could double if the situation continues. Now that's a wake-up call if I've ever heard one. But why should we be concerned about rising oil prices? Well, the relationship between oil prices and the economy is a complex one. In a nutshell, oil is the lifeblood of many industries. It fuels our cars, heats our homes, and is a raw material in countless products. When oil prices rise, it increases the cost of production and transportation. This, in turn, results in higher prices for goods and services, affecting everything from the groceries you buy to the cost of your Uber ride home. But it doesn't stop there. Rising oil prices could also exacerbate inflation. Around 15% of goods imported into the Middle East, Europe, and North Africa are shipped from Asia and the Gulf by sea, including a significant amount of oil. If oil prices rise, it could worsen inflation, causing the cost of living to skyrocket and putting a strain on households, especially those with lower incomes. As we can see, the direct and indirect impact of rising oil prices is far-reaching. It's not just about paying a few extra cents at the gas pump. It's about the ripple effect these increases have on all aspects of our daily life. So the next time you hear about rising oil prices, remember it's not just an issue for Wall Street or the oil tycoons, it's a wake-up call for all of us. Now consider this. How does the price of oil affect the price of your groceries? It's a fascinating connection that many of us might not think about, but it's there, and it's significant. You see, oil isn't just used to fuel our cars and heat our homes. It's also a critical component in the transportation and production of our food. Think about it. When oil prices increase, the cost of transporting goods, including food, also rises. From the fuel needed to operate farm machinery, to the diesel that powers the trucks bringing produce to your local supermarket, oil is intertwined with every step of the food supply chain. But the cost doesn't stop at transportation. Oil is also a key ingredient in fertilizers and pesticides, which are vital in modern agriculture. When the cost of oil rises, so does the cost of these agricultural aids, further pushing up the price of food. And what happens when food prices increase? Well, it's not just about paying a few cents more for your favorite brand of cereal or bread. Higher food prices could lead to food scarcity, especially for those in lower-income households struggling to make ends meet. This is a serious concern that could affect food availability and security, and it's a ripple effect that starts with something as seemingly unrelated as the price of oil. And let's not forget the global scale of this issue. Many countries import a significant portion of their food, relying heavily on global shipping routes. Any disruption, such as the recent attacks in the Red Sea, can cause delays and increased shipping costs, which again trickles down to the price of food at your local store. This is a complex issue with far-reaching implications. It's not just about the pain at the pump. It's about how these rising costs can infiltrate every aspect of our lives, including the very food on our tables. So, higher oil prices can mean higher food prices and potentially food scarcity. But what about your home? How can rising oil prices impact your shelter? Well, you might be surprised to learn that the cost of your home can be directly affected by fluctuations in oil prices. You see, oil isn't just used to fuel our cars and heat our homes, it's also a key component in many of the materials used in home construction. From the asphalt shingles on your roof to the plastic piping in your plumbing, oil plays a significant role in the building of our homes. As oil prices rise, so too does the cost of these materials. That could mean that everything from home repairs to new construction could become more expensive. This can be a significant concern for homeowners and prospective buyers alike. But the impact of rising oil prices on your shelter doesn't stop at construction costs. Energy costs are another big factor to consider. Many of us rely on oil to heat our homes, particularly in the colder months. As oil prices increase, so too does the cost of keeping our homes warm and cozy. This can lead to higher utility bills, which can put a financial strain on households, particularly those with lower incomes. In fact, many families are already reducing spending on essential items just to pay their energy bills. The financial strain can be further exacerbated if we consider the potential for increased shipping costs due to disruptions in oil supply routes like those currently being experienced in the Red Sea. Everything from the food we eat to the goods we buy is transported in some way using oil. If shipping costs rise, we could see a ripple effect, with the cost of living going up across the board. In essence, the roof over your head could become more expensive due to rising oil prices. And what about survival products? Are they affected by oil prices too? Well, the short answer is yes, they are. When we think of oil, we often think of it as something that fuels our cars or heats our homes. But oil is also a key component in the production of many items we use every day, from the plastic that makes up much of our survival gear to synthetic fabrics used in weatherproof clothing and tents. Oil is involved in many stages of the production process, so when the cost of oil goes up, it impacts not only the fuel for our vehicles and homes, but also the cost of producing these essential survival items. But that's not all. Let's not forget about the shipping costs. You see, major shippers like BP and Maersk are already taking longer routes around Africa to avoid the disruptions in the Red Sea. This means increased shipping costs, which are often passed on to the consumer. The result? Higher prices for your survival gear. But it's not just the gear itself that can be affected. The cost of the raw materials used in the production of these items can also rise. For example, if the cost of oil increases, so does the cost of synthetic materials used in the production of survival gear. This can lead to manufacturers having to increase their prices to offset these costs. So, in a world where oil prices are on the rise, we could see an increase in the cost of survival products. From the tent you sleep in to the backpack you carry, these essential items could become more expensive. This means that preparing for the unexpected could become more costly. But don't let this discourage you. Remember, preparedness is an investment in your safety and well-being, and in a world of uncertainty, that is priceless. As we can see, even our preparedness can be affected by the price of oil. So, what does all this mean for you, and what can you do about it? We've traversed the landscape of rising oil prices and how this phenomenon impacts every facet of our lives, from the food we consume to the shelters we inhabit, and even the survival products we rely on. This journey has led us to some profound realizations. Firstly, the surge in oil prices is a wake-up call, a signal that we can't afford to ignore. It's a domino effect, starting with disruptions in the Red Sea, leading to potential inflation and trickling down to our everyday lives. It's not just about paying more at the pump, it's about the escalating costs of food, shelter, and survival essentials. Secondly, this situation underscores the interconnectedness of our global systems. A rise in oil prices doesn't just affect one industry, it reverberates across sectors, influencing everything from shipping routes to the cost of heating our homes. But it's not all doom and gloom. There are steps we can take, measures we can implement to mitigate the effects of these rising oil prices. Energy efficiency is a key player in this arena. By making our homes more energy efficient, we can reduce our reliance on fossil fuels, thereby cushioning the blow of any potential price hikes. This could mean anything from insulating our homes to investing in energy-efficient appliances. Furthermore, preparedness is crucial. As we've seen, the ripple effects of rising oil prices can be far-reaching and unpredictable. Being prepared means having a plan in place for various scenarios, including those that may seem unlikely. This could involve stocking up on essentials, growing our own food, or even learning new skills that could be useful in a crisis. With knowledge and preparedness, we can navigate the challenges of rising oil prices and maintain our survival and well-being.